per usual. Make sure you get this looking and that looking in the right direction there, Batman.
Yes, sir. Open your body, right?
Open your body, Batman. How you feeling over there?
I'm feeling great. Robin, Keith and Jerry needed a bit of a break, so we started to fill in for them, and we're going to get a little bit of get out the vote, because you know what matters? Elections matter. Thank you, Neil Williamson.
Neil Williamson, El Presidente of Free Enterprise Forum. Robin and Batman are excited to see you today.
So how you dealing with your bat watch?
I kept my bat watch on.
Oh.
It slides over my Robin gloves.
Okay.
Does yours slide over your Batman gloves?
It doesn't, Robin.
What are you saying over there, Batman?
I don't know. We're going to have to get Alfred in here to fix the bat watch here.
And let's not forget Bat Dog.
Bat Dog, yeah, he's in the Bat Cave, isn't he?
Bat Dog is in Bat Cave right now. Is that right, Alfred?
I've got a photo.
Oh, you got a photo of Bat Dog. Very nice.
Alfred literally is walking over and helping Batman put on his bat watch.
Oh, get ready, Gotham. We're about to fight some crime here on
The things that
Real
Alfred
Talk.
does.
It's a show like you've never seen before, at least not in a year here on the I Love Seville Network.
Well, we like to come in once a year and give Keith and Jerry a break. And
Batman has never looked better than he does right now.
Oh, Robin, you're already on the team, brother. You don't have to milk it a little bit long. Can I ask you a question, Robin?
Please, Batman.
Can you see?
No, I can't see, Batman. It's a good thing I have an intuitive seventh sense of knowing where people are in Gotham City when they're committing crime, Batman.
Well, today we're going to talk about get out the vote, because citizens of our fair city, our fair county, our fair state, got to get out there and vote. Get out there and vote, because elections matter.
Elections matter. Give the show a like and a share. We're going to get started in a matter of moments. Giddy up, buckle up, prepare yourself, warn the wife and children. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see the Real Talk like you've never seen before. We just finished fighting crime. Robin needs a new Batman who is very strong. Dan Pettit, why are you giving zingers right now?
We didn't even start it yet.
We haven't started it. Dan Pettit's giving zingers.
Dan, back up, buddy.
Alfred, we're ready to rock and roll.
The things we do.
Good Friday morning, guys. This is Robin, live on Real Talk on the I Love Seville Network. We just finished fighting crime in Gotham City, and the downtown mall has never looked cleaner and safer than ever before. We've gotten rid of the bad guys, and now it's time to bring some information to you that matters right here in our fair city. The bat signal is live all over the Blue Ridge Mountains, and on that note, Alfred's going to go to the studio camera so we can welcome the true superhero of our town, Batman, looking sharp.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Robin. We just want to say thank you to Keith and Jerry for giving us the opportunity to come here and talk about our fair city, our fair region, and our fair state. Citizens of Charlottesville, of Gotham, of the surrounding counties. Next Tuesday, you need to go and vote. Please. Why? Because elections matter.
Elections matter. That's right, Neil Williamson. We'll thank Dave Fafara of Shenandoah Joe's. We're drinking his coffee right now on a gorgeous Friday here in Gotham City.
And there may be a little something extra in our coffees
today.
There
we go, Batman. That's the only way to
I can't see a damn thing, but cheers.
I can't see a damn thing either. And if you have comments for us, put them in the feed. These latex gloves might make it difficult to type back, but I will surely read them on air. Keith Smith, Batman, what is going on with you today?
Whoa.
Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne.
Keith Smith. Who's that guy?
I have no idea.
I have no idea who that guy is. He's off.
He's a superhero realtor.
Superhero realtor. Well played. Look, guys, this is all about just having fun today. Citizens and going pow, kabam, and Alfred is all dressed up. Do we have a camera on Alfred today?
Alfred, can you get the studio camera and you show your face over there?
So Alfred is all set up in his beautiful tux, and Alfred is keeping us on. But we want you folks out in Gotham, in the city of Charlottesville, in the region, in the state, in the world. Throw some questions, throw some zingers at Batman and Robin. We are ready to take them on, but go vote, vote. And during this episode of Real Talk with Batman and Robin, I have a feeling our friend Alfred over there is going to be putting some not so flattering pictures of Robin up on the Robin and Batman on the screen.
How does the suit fit you today, Batman?
Yeah, a little tight, a little tight. What is Robin? What is this called? The COVID what?
The COVID-19.
Yeah, well, no, the weight. It's a COVID.
I know, the COVID-19 pounds. You didn't do that. You're looking good, Batman.
I know, Mrs. Batman is on the train going up to see the grandkids, and she wished me luck, and she sent me a text from the train. Good luck, Batman.
Yona's watching right now. Hello, Yona Smith. She's on the train. Hello, Yona. Good morning. We're fighting crime here in Gotham City, Yona.
And we're putting people in homes and doing real estate, too, because Keith and Yona Smith, from Batman's perspective, are really rocking and rolling on this stuff. There you go. I'm trying to learn from Robin about sales plugging. We just want to have fun today, guys. We're going to have a lot of fun here.
We're going to have
all seriousness, thank you to our alter egos who are not present at the moment for actually allowing me to do this to them and get them all looking like their actual superhero selves. But we love doing this. We love this city. We love these counties. We love this region. This is all just beautiful stuff, man.
And I was thinking about this. Our buddy Chip Boyles, a man you know very, very well.
I do.
Now taking a new job in Fredericksburg, the executive director of the George Washington Regional Commission.
Yeah,
Kudos and props to Chip, right?
Yeah, we love Chip to death. We bumped it.
I brought my back glove.
No, get your Robin glove, buddy.
Glove.
You gotta. Yeah, I bumped Mr. Smith was telling me that he bumped into Chip on the downtown mall, and he's moving on to greener pastures. We thank him for what work he's done. There may be a few mishaps along the way, but on a personal level, Batman does care for him and his family. So we're wishing him only the best of luck, and the best of luck to the city. The city of Charlottesville, just like Gotham, will rise again. Just be patient and faithful, folks, and show up and vote because it matters, and we will get there. Please be faithful. Please participate in your local government. Please.
How do you see we know how the Board of Supervisors elections are going to play out. How do you see the city of Charlottesville elections playing out, my friend?
Well, I think if we were to take a look at our bat data that Alfred has put together for us, there's always a chance, but it's pretty clear that I think the two front-running candidates are going to end up getting the seats.
Yeah, and those are Brian Pinkston and Juan Diego Wade. The election on the 2nd of November, which is Tuesday, some can make a legitimate argument the most important election in Charlottesville, Virginia history, with so much to cover. I mean, where would you begin with that? City manager first to stabilize, and Nicholas Erpy says, hello, Nicholas Erpy. Hello from Robin and Batman. He says, I see Batman stole Keith's look and went for the stash.
Yeah, well, this mustache looks pretty good on him, and I just decided to do it. I've heard he had it since 1985, so, I figured I'd give it a shot. But, Robin's sporting a little bit of facial hair there.
Robin's got a little of the 5 o'clock shadow at 10:25 in the morning.
Well, I was going to say because you were out late, maybe carousing, but you were out fighting crime all night long. That's the reason you get a chance to
I was out late with the 3.5-year-old that wouldn't go to bed.
Oh, jeez.
That's what it was.
When did that eventually happen?
About 4:10 in the morning.
Oh, good God bless you.
You remember those days, Batman?
Nicholas
Erpy, prepare yourself, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not a true test until you welcome an offspring into the world. Is that not right, Batman?
That is absolutely the case of a marriage.
Yeah.
And but we have a
Is that why you waited the gap between your two beautiful daughters, Batman?
I've heard a story about that. When Batman was told about the second birth, he said, "How did that happen?" I literally did that. How did that happen? And Yona says, "You're an idiot." And I went, "Oh, okay, I'm an idiot." But we never, Batman, and we never planned that. It just happened, and we love it, and this is wonderful. But
what a blessing!
What a blessing! And actually, we ended up with a built-in babysitter, so it was great. We loved it.
The built-in babysitter I learned because she came on Real Talk in the past terrified the youngest daughter by talking about ghosts and goblins.
It's a true story.
Right?
No, it was a true story. She said that there was ghosts and goblins living underneath her bed, and she wouldn't sleep in her bed for like forever. And they would torment each other. Well, actually, our oldest would torment our youngest greatly on that end of the stuff. But now they're thick as thieves. They're as tight as can be.
She was the maid of honor. Maid of honor. Both sides, both weddings on that end of it. So we've got two great grandchildren, and my Mrs. Batman is up there and doing this stuff. I have to tell you, the bat mask and the lights are already at work here with the sweat falling down. Oh, you're sweating? I can barely see.
Hello.
At least you can see over there.
Hello.
This Robin mask is very difficult, guys. Where's the camera?
Camera's over there.
Oh, okay. Here's the camera.
Come on now. Okay. You're the pro. You're supposed to know where that is.
I got you.
To go back to the city next steps. Look, I really think all the conversations that Batman been part of all this stuff. They get it. They're going to work through it. This is going to be a bit of a process. They'll have an interim, which I'm sure that they're working themselves through that.
Any ideas who?
Not at the moment, no. My bet didn't happen, but
Sam Sanders.
Yeah, but they'll work through it and they'll get through it, and they'll seat a new council, and they're immediately the first thing they need to do is hire a city manager, which is going to be extremely difficult to do, not because of any history in the city. It's just the labor market is just not there. We're trying to do this at the Thomas Jefferson Planning District Commission, which Mr. Smith sits on, not Batman. Mr. Smith. Sits on. And
Batman can speak more freely since he's not on the board right now. He can talk about anything he wants.
We're going to have to defer that to Alfred because I think alter egos also count.
Okay, alter egos also
on public boards.
Understood.
I think alter egos also.
I think Robin was trying to get you in trouble.
Robin always is trying to get me into trouble.
Sorry, Robin.
I don't know.
Sorry, Batman.
But I think this is the reason why we came up with this Batman and Robin routine is because Mr. Millis tries to get Mr. Smith into trouble all the time.
Justine Montgomery, hello. Is that Vermont, Justine?
Justine, yeah.
She's in Vermont.
In Vermont.
Love you, Justine. We were fighting crime up in your neck of the woods.
Justine's a hero.
She is a hero.
Absolute hero.
Yona says we're practicing intermediate sleep practices now with our new dog, Forrest.
Yeah, so we actually had a similar night. Mr. and Mrs. Smith had a similar night as the Millers had because the dog wanted to go out 4 or 5 times in the middle of the night.
Is Forrest a puppy?
He's 2.5.
Okay.
Well, depends. He's a rescue, and the SPCA said 3. Our vet said 2.5. So we're going to go with 2.5.
Okay.
On that end of it, but he's starting to get comfortable, and so now he's like nudging and doing all this fun stuff. So wish Batman and Mrs. Batman luck today. This is the first time we left him home alone in 3 weeks.
Is he in a crate?
Nah.
No crate?
I don't believe in that.
Wow, that's ballsy.
Yeah, I don't believe in that. So.
Did you confine him to one room?
There's a couple of rooms, yeah, and then we just got a fence built, so he's going out. He can go in and out of the house and do his business. So we'll find out.
So we'll see how much of that drywall's chewed on and the trim of the door.
We'll find out when we get home.
But Did you leave Forrest some bones?
Yeah. And we have somebody who's going to check in on him a couple of times during the day. So I think we'll be okay. But if he does something, what's the worst that could happen? I call a guy and he fixes it.
I mean, sounds like you know a high-end trim carpenter.
I know. Well, I know a high-end trim carpenter, but he won't come see me because.
He's so busy.
Oh, totally so busy. And, so those don't know, Mr. Smith's brother's a high-end trim carpenter in Richmond, and we call him Doctor because he makes more money. Can you see anything?
No, I can't see anything at all. I literally can't see anything.
And I've got like sweat rolling down in front of
This man's perspiring like an unsavory person in church, and I can't see a thing. I'm like Ray Charles over here. I cannot see anything.
Well, yeah, but you can't sing and play music.
I can't see. No, you're right. Hey, no, I'm in trouble.
So what's going on in Robin's life? We talk a lot about what's going on in Batman's and Mr. Smith's life, but what's going on other than not getting any sleep? What's going on in Robin's life?
Well, this conversation was coming up yesterday on a conference call, and it was one of our clients asking when the inventory, and Justine says, yes, I am in Vermont. Justine, we love when you watch the program.
Any snow yet?
Any snow, Justine? Our client said, when do we expect the inventory shortage to pick up? And I promised my client to ask Batman this question.
Yeah, so this seems to be a recurring story on this show called Real Talk.
It's certainly good for folks in the land acquisition business.
It is for the folks in the land acquisition business, assuming you can find something and assuming you can.
It's affordable.
It's affordable. That's exactly right. And it's an interesting thing from what Batman knows a little bit about this from the land acquisition end of it. If you end up acquiring a land now or trying to acquire a land now, it's going to be so many years, 5-6 years, before you can actually. Oh, excuse me, Batman just belched into. Sorry, folks.
The only one that needs to hear the apology is Robin over here. Good Lord.
Sorry about that.
Robin can't see, but he certainly can smell.
Yeah, sorry. That was breakfast. But change the subject.
Yes.
But we went ahead and, folks like that. So they're looking at this, the developers, what the market's going to be 5 or 6 years from now. And that's the big concern. I think you might see some developers and stuff start walking back, looking at new big projects because of what I'm sorry.
I can hear you, I just can't see.
And you can smell me, apparently.
Is the Batmobile going to catch up with the train later on Sunday? Bill McKenzie says, boom, pow,
boom,
burp.
Pow, burp.
Bill McKenzie. Ask Batman how he feels about building on land. Is that cheaper than buying already built houses for single-family homes? Sounds like someone's about to get married and needs a house to live in.
So, Batman hangs around with politicians a lot, so a little bit of yes and a little bit of no, right? There's not going to be a good answer. It's really what works for you. But as a rule of thumb, new construction is more than likely going to be more expensive than existing.
Oh, by far, right?
Right, by far.
Not even close. I mean, you would say what, 3 to 1?
Yeah, so it's hard to find in Albemarle County right now new construction. Custom new construction's definitely got a 1 in front of it, and the production guys it's got 8 or a 9 in front of it. Can you get your gloves on, brother?
Hold on. The problem is getting these gloves on and typing. How does Robin? Oh, it's the raw glove. How does Robin do anything with these gloves on?
So that would be your right hand.
There we go.
This is your left hand.
I got it. So let's answer this. So multiple people are asking this.
They're asking how come Batman's sweating so much? Is that what
how come Batman's sweating so much, and why can Robin not see? The answer is this, guys. New construction. Let's let the expert, Class A contractor, answer this over me.
Sure.
That's you, Batman.
Oh, I got to check my license. Does
You're
it say Batman?
It
might say Keith Smith on it. I'm not really sure.
The new construction considerably more expensive.
Yeah, it is, but it depends on what the buyer wants and where they're at in their life and what they can afford and they can't afford on that end of it. Is it your first home or your second? Oh, your second home. Oh, we're getting kudos from outside the hallway.
From the green room outside the studio.
From the green room.
Yeah.
That's right. So look, construction costs are going up. They consistently going up. But if you want a home that is new, that meets all your needs, a lot of people are going that route because the inventory of existing is so non-existent that they're willing to wait a little bit longer. They're willing to pay a little bit longer, and most folks are going to probably stay in their homes a little bit longer on that new construction. Folks are staying in their homes 10 years, roughly on average at the moment around the nation. So it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but it's like Keith Smith says all the time, it's these 5 things, right? Right? He's such a genius, this guy. It's unbelievable.
Keith Smith is a genius. This is coming from Robin and Batman.
But
Susan Steinbart, hello. We love you, Susan Steinbart.
Oh.
We need to get Susan Steinbart back on the show.
She is coming back on the show.
Oh, she is?
She doesn't know it yet. Now she knows it, but we're going to bring her back on the show.
She says, Keith suggests the Spring Hill Village units that she's talking to Keith and to pass it along to Batman. She also says, "You two are so cute." Oh, I mean scary. So scary. So scary. Susan Steinmark.
Well, there's a padded van out there, right, for after the show. They let us out. They let us out for an hour and a half, and then we got to get back into the padded van and go to the padded show, right?
Jamie Turner, Mr. Gordonsville, the mayor of Gordonsville, one of the finest alum of Woodbury Forest. This is awesome. Happy Friday, Batman and Robin.
What did he say? I'm sorry.
Happy Friday, and this is awesome.
Happy Friday. Happy Friday to everybody, and happy a couple of days before election. Please get out and vote. Get out and vote on Tuesday. Somebody can chime in. I don't know if Neil is watching, but I can't remember when the last day is. I think it's today, actually, or maybe tomorrow, the last day that you can go ahead and vote. Early, yeah. I think it's the 29th rings a bell, which I think is today, right?
Susan Steinmark's going to be Batgirl.
Ooh, that's next year. That'll be fun.
Batgirl for Susan Steinmark, a superhero.
But we're going to bring
affordable housing. Susan Steinmark.
Yeah. So what Susan Steinmark's talking about is Mr. Smith and Susan are on this Piedmont Community Land Trust that are trying to do affordable housing, and Mr. Smith apparently this afternoon is going to be showing some homes over at Spring Hill Village to a couple of buyers who have qualified and come through the funnel. So he's super excited about the opportunity of showing that. But we're producing some awesome affordable housing units over there for a little bit of money in there, not a lot of money. So we were able to take $140,000 and turn it into roughly $2 million worth of housing and put currently 7 families in there, all averaging about 60% area median income. On that, which is huge. That's a huge number. Our goal is 80. We're able to drop that number down substantially, and we're just putting folks in there, teachers, folks working in the service business. We have there's a retired refugee from Africa, single woman living in one of them. So we're super excited about it.
Alex Discornia.
Alex,
to the program. We love you, Alex.
Alex, what costume is Alex going to come in if you
Alex Discornia, what is your Halloween costume? Alex Discornia, a scratch golfer who shoots under par at Old Trail. Alex Discornia could moonlight as Greg Norman the Shark, as Freddie Couples, as Curtis Strange, as Davis Love Three Sticks. He says, "Oh Lord, Batman and Robin, this is amazing." Alex Discornia.
Is that really what he said?
Yes, really yes, that is literally what he said.
But we got to get a little air flowing underneath the bat mask.
Don't take that off.
I'm not taking it off.
I got to wear this. I can't see you. I can't see you sweating. No snow yet in Vermont. Sunny, beautiful, and 55. Laura Jennings says, this is awesome. Very good. Nice. Hello, Laura Jennings.
So ask us some questions, Laura.
Paul McCarter, welcome to the program.
Hey, Paul. So ask us some questions. Ask some questions for Batman and Robin to see if we can go in or try to do the old stump the chump. See if you can stump us with some trivia questions or anything like that.
One just came in here. Batman, since you were involved with Roundabout on 53, it looks like a lot of the land is being cleared on 53 and right on the side of 618 from the main entrance at Lake Monticello all the way down 618 and down 53 towards Charlottesville. Any new projected subdivisions in this area, Batman?
Well, thank you for the question. So that Mr. Smith was helpful in trying to get that roundabout and some safety folks. So that worked out really great. But there is a subdivision approved in there. If you'll see when you drive through the roundabout, a little construction entrance that was put into it. But that is an approved 325 unit subdivision. 125 of that is apartments that will be for between 30 to 60% area median income. So we're going to have some affordable housing in Fluvanna County, which Mr. Smith and Batman is excited about. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. And there'll be 200 single-family attached and detached homes, so townhomes and single-family detached homes. And there's a setup for a gas station and a bunch of commercial that's going to go in there. So that actually is... Apparently you can read through the math.
Finish your thought. Dave Norris.
Oh, Dave.
Oh, I love Dave Norris.
Oh, hold on. we're going to get to
Norris,
Dave here in a
you're
minute
so
because
funny.
Dave's got a bit of a surprise coming to him. But they're actually going to start construction of the development in the beginning of next year. So hopefully by mid to the end of next year, there'll be some houses going vertical over there, some residential units and commercial units.
Dave Norris, friend of the network, friend of all three of us right here.
What did he say?
We love you, Dave Norris. Dave Norris is
Mr.
a
Smith and
superhero
Dave
himself.
Norris are going to hang out and talk a little bit at the governor's housing conference. So
I genuinely enjoy hanging with Dave Norris. He says, who's the Joker in this scenario?
Dave Norris. No, I'm sorry. Well, Dave, you just gave me an idea because for our little speech that we're going to do, we're going to be in costume. So I'll order you a Joker costume.
And you guys are going to be in tights? That will drive a lot more participation for that speech.
Or send us to to the loony bin.
Or send you to jail, to the slammer.
Yeah. Well, I think he actually would look better in the Batman outfit than me.
Dave could pull off a superhero costume undoubtedly.
Because he is a superhero.
He plays a superhero every day.
And he makes some Susan Steinmart, Dave Norris, all the folks at PHA, Sunshine, all the folks at Habitat. I mean, AHIP, we have these plethora of affordable housing, this plethora of nonprofits in this town that just do some awesome work. So, if you're out there and you can't donate the time, you don't have the ability that Mr. Smith has because of Mrs. Smith does 7/8 of all the work and I just hang out and look pretty. Well,
Keith is working right now, boys and girls.
Is that what I'm doing?
You're working.
And cheers.
Cheers, Dave Forrest, Shenandoah Joe's.
Shenandoah Joe's, a little spiked.
Dave Norris says, oh, Lord, oh, Lord, oh, Lord. I think Batman needs to get on the bike later and ride throughout Charlottesville.
Who said that?
Guess.
Oh, this had to be my wife. No. Nick.
How about this one? Do you know which Batman, and the preface, the stipulation to this question is, you cannot ask Judah. That literally came in the feed. So Judah, if you don't know the answer, you might have to save us, but don't give us the answer yet.
Or you can coach us.
Oh, look at the screen. Look at the screen right now. It's Batman on a bike.
Batman on a bike.
Is that what electric bike do you like? Is that the Rad bike?
The Rad bike is what I would love to get once Mrs. Smith allows me to do it, but that's
Mrs.
what I want.
Smith is going to allow that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're working. Batman and Mr. Smith are working on it. So guess the question. What do we got there?
So here's the question.
Assuming you can see it.
Do you know which Batman villain was famous for discovering Batman's identity in the comics?
Ooh.
If either of you guys get it in one guess, I will show up as said villain next year. Okay. So here, do you know which Batman villain was famous for discovering Batman's identity in the comics? If either of you guys get it in one guess, I will show up as the said villain on the Thursday edition of Today y Mañana in 6 days. 6 days, he says, he will show up in costume. Do you know which villain that is?
Well, Batman would never give that up. Even if he knew it, he would never give that.
I don't think Batman has any idea.
Batman doesn't have an effing clue.
It's amazing how Batman and Keith Smith have the gift of gab and a little bit of BS, isn't it?
Just a little bit,
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I'm going to say, I don't know this, but I'm going to take a random guess.
I think I'm going to make one too, but you go first.
I'll say, okay, let's make sure our guests are different.
Well, I'm about to say, so if you say one, I'm going to say something else.
Okay,
I got two in
I'm
mind.
going to say the Penguin.
I was going to say the Joker, just because he does riddles and...
I feel like it would be so easy if it was that. And he said he's going to come in 6 days in costume on Today y Mañana. 6 days, he said.
Did we get it?
I'll say it's the Penguin. You say the Joker?
I'm only saying the Joker because it's just kind of makes sense as he's a riddle guy. Do
we know the answer?
You know the answer?
Apparently there's 10.
There's
Google,
10 different
Google
ones?
says 10. Was either one of us right?
Who is the answer?
It does show up on one of these lists.
Oh, it's Hugo Strange.
Hugo Strange.
He's on the list as well.
Hugo Strange.
So we failed.
We
Was
failed.
Joker on the
Hold
list?
on. Where's the sound effect for failure here?
No, on the list I'm looking at, Joker is number 1.
See, there you go. We're going to...
Strange is number 2.
That
Okay.
means Nicholas Erpy is showing up in costume in 6 days.
And does Batman and Robin have to show up to that?
Oh, only Nicholas Erpy.
Only Nicholas Erpy.
He's a Renaissance man. He loves classical music. He loves good food. He loves Vitae Spirits. He loves
He'll probably show up
sombreros,
like-
and he's showing up in spandex and latex in 6 days.
He's going to show up as Puccini. That's what he's going to show
He's
up
going to
as.
show up as Puccini?
Yeah, Puccini. It's an opera thing. You got it.
That's over Robin's head.
Yeah.
It's not
okay.
over Batman's head.
No, it's not over my head, but he knows what I'm talking
Scott
about.
Williams, hello, homie. Welcome to the program. We love you, Scotty Williams. So more questions coming in.
Yeah, let's get him.
So if new construction is so expensive, how is this going to positively impact the market to create housing that's affordable for people that need it?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and that's some of what, like for instance, Albemarle County has an affordable housing policy now, so that if a new development comes in, I believe it's 15%. I may have that number wrong. If Neil is watching, he'll correct me on that. Has to be affordable. So they're gonna, it's gonna have to be built on that end of it. But it's the process. The quickest way to get affordable housing, frankly, is to reduce the red tape, right? And the new construction, and because the cost on it is, as Robin knows, because he's been talking to Jerry, that 24% of new construction is red tape or regulatory things. So if you even cut that in half, that directly comes down. So that's roughly $100,000 a home, based on an average of $400,000 across the country. So in essence, if you can cut that down a little bit, you can make that $350,000. Can you even see me?
No, I cannot see you.
Hey.
I can only see down. Like,
Yeah.
if I need to see you to fight crime,
You gotta go
I
on.
have to do this. Now I can see you.
There you go.
Now
Good
I can
enough.
see
Good
straight
enough.
ahead.
Hold on.
If I'm looking here, I can only see down.
I'm not crying, folks. I'm not crying yet. These are not bat tears.
You're perspiring.
These are bat
Batman doesn't perspire?
Well, apparently this one does. It might have something to do with these things over the top of my head. That's got like 1,000 watts in it.
Follow up on this. We have some people asking legitimate questions
Yeah,
here.
legitimate questions.
Yeah, legitimate questions for Batman
Do
and
you
Robin.
understand what we're doing here?
Where is the land for new construction, specifically in Albemarle County? From Grayson, a regular watcher of the program.
That's a great question. Batman and Mr. Smith did not know. It's you technically, right? We talk about this, or Keith and Jerry talk about this all the time, and basically it's got to be within the urban ring or the growth areas.
Susan Steinmart taught me this. 5% of Albemarle County is designated for development. Of that 5%, it also includes commercial in that 5%. And Susan Steinmart also taught me that not all the 5% of the land can be developed because of the what nature of the land?
The topographical nature.
Topographical.
Look at that. No, this was that.
Oh, Batman.
This was Batman. This was
Batman's
Batman.
vocabulary seems to be quite good.
I'm trying to teach Mr. Smith some bigger words. We practice every day in front of the mirror. Topographical. There's another word Mr. Smith is trying to work on. That
What are we talking about? What Mr. Smith does for a living?
something about what Mr. Smith does for a living, and I think Alfred may have a slide on that. But
Critical slope, Susan Steinmart
Critical
says.
slope.
Albemarle County to replace land lost from Biscuit Run State Park conversion, great park, but we lost the housing opportunity. Susan Steinmart, you're making us better, Susan Steinmart.
Yeah, but you've got Southwood coming in, which is going to be 1,000, and for the folks asking about where the potential affordable housing and new construction would be, I would encourage you to dig through Southwood. There's going to be a substantial amount of whatever affordable housing, and Batman struggles with that term, what affordable housing is. And
It seems like all of Gotham struggles with that term, affordable housing.
There was a presentation that Mr. Smith gave a couple of Thursdays ago, and it was a Q&A session with some let's say, staff folks in the city, in the counties, and all this stuff. And one of the questions in the feed, and I asked it, was, what does affordable housing mean to you, to these staff folks? And, it means different things to different people, right? So it's a tough question to answer. But the bottom line is we need more product, we need more units, more is better in this particular case, and it'll make a difference.
Kevin Higgins, everything is creeping to Waynesboro. where you go left off 250 to the 151 Rhine Trail, you could walk straight over Afton Mountain to downtown Waynesboro. It's coming and soon. Put your real estate seatbelt on, Batman and Robin.
Yeah, it's coming, it's going. I know for a fact there's developers out there looking for land to do it. Look, it's as Mr. Smith would say, location, price, features, and condition, and timing, right? The location is there.
This Mr. Smith fella is getting a lot of name drops in the Batman and Robin episode.
Yeah, well, he needs to try to make a living. We're trying to help him out the best way we can.
Mr. Smith, give him a ring. I hear he works for Yes Realty Partners.
Yeah, then he'll hand the phone to Yona. No, I'm only kidding. So, but look, at the end of the day, the land is more cost effective, so that's the price. The features are good. It's not as in the valley, it's a little flatter, right? The features that's the features and the conditions on it. And let's face it, the process through Augusta County and some of these other counties are a lot easier to get through. The product can come from concept to reality way quicker than it can on this side of the mountain. It's just the reality, except in the surrounding counties. Like Fluvanna is very, very quick to come up with an answer. Louisa is. The paths in Greene County, the paths are simple. So
how about this question? This has come from some folks in Louisa County. Mr. Fitzgerald Barnes.
Look at Robin type with one hand.
Mr. Fitzgerald Barnes up for re-election.
Hey, Fitz, Semper Fi Marine.
What do you make of that?
I love Fitz to death. He's a fellow Marine, so I love all fellow Marines. Batman loves all fellow Marines. I just let a secret out. Batman used to be a Marine, or is a Marine. So I love him, but I've known Fitz for decades, and he does some great work, and he's been on the Louisa County Board of Supervisors
for 7 terms.
About to say, as long as I can remember.
Robin learned that when Fitzgerald Barnes was here in the network.
As long as I can, but he's he's what a politician should be, or not to make to pass disparaging words that almost hurt on elected officials, but he'll sit down and talk to you. He'll listen to you, even if you come from a different opinion. He'll definitely listen to you and have a conversation. At the end of it, you'll walk away with respect, and you may not agree at the end of it, but it'll be a respectful conversation. And and that's something Batman's really trying to promote. Going out to vote, of course, but treat everybody with respect, right, Robin?
Amen.
Treat everybody with respect. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody's entitled to speak their piece. Mr. Smith and Fitz and all these folks that put on a uniform to defend that right. That's what we want to see. We want to see folks actually have a conversation.
How about this comment that's come in the program? Multiple comments here. So this one is
that Batman's gaining weight. Is that one of it?
No. Okay. Batman seems to be very sensitive about that.
I am, because Mrs. Batman pointed it out this morning. So.
Hello, so this one. We need a plan to get downtown in the future with new homes in Southwood, the 5th Street extended area. Everyone needs to focus more on transportation.
Yep.
We need a bunch of Batmobiles around town, aka transportation. So I'm going to bring this up. I used to live in Redfields, down 5th Street extended, right in the urban ring of Albemarle County. Folks, I lived before, I spent 7 years in Redfields as a homeowner. Before that, Daniel Pettit.
I didn't know, Robin.
You remember the 7 years at the villas at Southern Ridge. So nearly 15 years I spent down 5th Street Extended. And one thing I can acknowledge in those 15 years, now I live on the east side of town, is the traffic is considerably more robust, more congested, and deeper down 5th Street and Avon Extended. Your thoughts on that, Batman?
On a previous coffee with the candidates that Mr. Miller and Mr. Smith did, we had 2 Albemarle County candidates on, Ned Galloway and Diantha McKeel. And Diantha is very pro-transportation. Yes, you're 100% right. It needs to get fixed. Mr. Smith yesterday at 4:30 was trying to get from Costco because Batman and Mrs. Batman needed something from Costco, and it took me forever to get across town due to traffic, and we don't even have a football game coming in this particular weekend. So it's always a struggle, but much like what we were saying, you've got to come to the table. You can't we've always said this. You can't attack housing in a silo. It has to be addressed and 3 different silos come together. In my opinion,
Batman seems to be a little gassy this
a
morning.
little gassy. He'll do a burp thing, probably, Batman.
I think we have one. Oh, hold on. That's the wrong sound effect here. That's the one right there.
There you go. Okay. All right. Thanks, Robin, for
You're
pointing that
welcome.
out.
Robin's always here for you, Batman.
Thank you. Appreciate that. So look, it's 3 different silos, and some of it is even more because you have to add health to it. But for the most part, is you got to have the housing, you got to have the transportation, and I always include education into that because education is an important component to it. But Southwood, I don't know in detail, but I think there's going to be probably some bus routes going from Southwood to downtown up to 5th Street. On that end of it, but there has to be a robust review of it, a robust engagement of everybody, all the stakeholders involved in that. So,
how about this question, which is a very good one? Who sits down with VDOT about transportation issues? Does anyone go to scope meetings to offer opinions or perspective? And this is important to emphasize.
Oh, man.
A lot of folks don't realize this. It took Robin a while to realize this. It's not necessarily the municipalities and the jurisdictions that are in charge of the roads.
well, they're not.
Batman, put that in perspective.
Well, they're not. The city of Charlottesville is because it owns its own roads because it's a city, but everything else is owned by VDOT. And it's very interesting on these scope meetings. There are public meetings so we call them technical review committees or scope meetings. When a project is coming up, there is a process in all the jurisdictions that go around that the developer sits down with VDOT, with other utility stakeholders, and they review the plan and they talk about the plan and they talk about these particular impacts. Mr. Smith, Batman, has attended hundreds of these and never seen anybody else other than him there.
Why is that?
Because, look, the reality of it is it happens in the middle of the day. They're not online, these particular meetings.
Sounds like they need to be on the I Love Seville network.
Robin
says.
Robin says. Ding, ding. But yeah, they're not on that. But if you can attend them, you should, or if you can designate somebody to go there to report back to a group or a committee of some sort. But they are these meetings, and they're scope meetings. So, let's talk about this roundabout that was able to happen out in 618 and 53. So those who are familiar with Havana County and Lake Monticello, there was this horrible T intersection that was there for decades.
Dangerous.
Multiple people were killed in it. Was blind lefts, blind rights. People were coming down that road at 50, 60 miles an hour and it was just horrible, and it took decades to do that. But what happened, a developer, which we talked about earlier, with a little bit of prodding from Batman, has dedicated 2 acres of land.
Do we call that a proffer?
That would be a proffer. He dedicated 2 acres of land to VDOT to go ahead and do that. And then the county and VDOT work together to get the money from the state to go ahead and build this. This is, to build the roundabout. And it took from the time that the property was dedicated to go through the process and get built somewhere around 5 to 6 years. So, the land was dedicated, the process happened, but it requires everybody at the table to make this magic happen.
This is a good question that's come in from Crozet, from J.B. Boofy, and he says, why are there so few duplexes in this area, Batman and Robin?
Well, there's so few duplexes in that area is because majority of it is zoned single-family detached. That's probably what it is. And if I believe the Albemarle County Board of Supervisors in the new Crozet master plan, this couple of streets, Tabor rings a bell, is allowing this what they call the missing middle, which is the duplexes, the quads, the triplexes, the sixplexes in that end of it. It's just a master plan. It has to go through rezoning and all these different other processes to get there. But that they're looking to do that. I had a trusted friend of both of ours, Pam, ask if City of Charlottesville or Albemarle County was going to be first on this missing middle, and I think we can make a little bit of bet here.
I can make a bet.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say it's Albemarle County all day, every day.
Yeah, it'll be Albemarle County.
They have more stability in personnel, more
Yeah.
institutional memory,
Absolutely.
more opportunity to leverage land, more reason to do so. I mean, if you look at what the city of Charlottesville, where are you going to go? What are you going to do with it?
Well, so Robin, back to one of our other viewers' comment about is where you're going to go. So with this growth area,
Mr. Kevin Higgins.
with this growth area being restricted from physical restriction and then topographical restrictions, and then there's units already developed and built on all that stuff. I think, and nobody's ever really done this, is to figure out an assessment exactly how much land is available within these growth areas to
Susan
work on.
Seimart's got a very good comment on this.
Yeah,
I'm going to
go.
throw back Susan Seimart, A+.
But I think Albemarle County will hit it first, but I think in the city of Charlottesville has a better chance of actually producing it.
Single-family zoning is a national problem, Susan
Yep.
Seimart says. Just FYI from Google, Biscuit Run State Park is 1,190 acres. To add that back into the growth area gives more land to the question of where to place affordable housing. And Robin knows a candidate for Board of Supervisors who's made Biscuit Run an important aspect of his platform.
I wonder who that is.
I wonder who that is as well, Batman.
Look, here's the problem with that, and this is why elections matter, and this is also why land use decisions matter, right? When they ultimately get done. That is more than likely never going to be anything what it is at the moment. It's taken completely out of the pool, right? Everybody knows the history of it. It was supposed to be a development, then it got sold to the state.
Well, the state took it over.
The state took,
As
well,
leverage for tax credits.
yeah.
Tax credits were used, as you would say, how would you say the tax credits were utilized? Is
Yeah.
it a two-word, one word starts with a B and the second one starts with an O?
Yeah, so let's just say it was sold for tax credits, because that's ultimately, and look,
You're a kind person.
it would, from a business perspective and a personal perspective, I guess it worked for everybody.
It did.
At that,
Except for the residents.
except for everybody. But what's happened?
Except for Albemarle County residents.
Yeah. So what happens now is we talked about this with other candidates, that it becomes what we refer to as an unfunded mandate. So now the state handed it back to the county, and the county now needs to deal with it. They don't have the capital to do it.
So you now have nearly 1,200 acres in the urban ring,
Which is in a park.
a 5-iron away from Wegmans.
I have no idea what a 5-iron is.
I
but
mean, it's very close.
Got it.
Adjacent to Interstate 64, in a municipality that doesn't have any land to grow and needs housing for people to keep affordability in check. And guess what's happening?
Nothing.
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 Nothing, honey.
Nothing, honey.
Nothing, honey.
Nothing, honey.
Look, but it's not, I don't want folks to watch this or Robin to think this. The likelihood of this going backwards,
Backwards, what do you mean by that?
Well-
what do you mean by that, backwards?
well, what I mean by that is does Robin think at some point that the Albemarle County will sell it back to a developer?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
So that's what I mean.
I think what Albemarle County has to do, and correct me if I'm wrong, Batman. I
Yes,
learn
Rob.
from you all
Yes,
the time,
Rob. Yes,
Robin.
Robin.
I'm just your sidekick that spends hours a week learning from you.
Oh, good Lord.
Batman, I think Albemarle County needs to figure out a way to utilize it to drive incremental revenue.
Well, that's the only thing that they can do.
Sports tourism, joint public-private partnership with the Core and Capshaw for like a music venue there. Figure out ways for us to use it to drive revenue and enjoyment and quality of life.
So you want Robin?
Don't you like parks?
Parks are great.
Parks are great.
I got my bike.
Yeah.
Works on the belly. Go. That's how I work on the belly. Ooh, jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Spandex is good for that.
Feeling good right there.
We told everybody this ain't coffee.
Feeling good.
Look, you're gonna ready to get your head blown?
Oh, please. Okay. You got an idea?
I got.
Hold on. Is this like the walk? I'm thinking here, Leona. What was the phrase that you said to Forrest in Yono and the walk? I've been thinking lately.
No, that's not what I said.
What was it?
I said I was thinking.
I was thinking.
And the dog went,
Or-
huh?
Yona said, huh?
Huh? Yona went, yeah, I don't. You know what Yona said? Even the dog knows better than that. But without
Batman.
without digging into it, Mr. Smith, because I'm Batman at the moment, is trying to have conversations with elected officials to create a land bank under the control of the Regional Housing Partnership.
That's a great idea,
and
Batman.
it could be that land could go into that land bank for some parks
You're
and
talking the nearly 1,200 acres at Biscuit Run.
It could do that. It could do that.
And what is the response from the jurisdictions?
We're a little busy at the moment.
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Smith. No, they all think it's a great idea. This is just an idea that Mr. Smith has
Fantastic idea, Batman.
tossed out. All the jurisdictions can do that. They can work together under the auspices of the Regional Housing Partnership, which has all the players at the table and all that great stuff, and see if we can try to move the ball forward. Because then, at this point, once you control the land, which is like our friends at UVA are trying to do to help affordable housing, things go a little bit smoother at that particular point.
So this question's coming-
I don't want anybody to think that this is a possibility. This is just something Mr. Smith
You're spitballing.
is pitching.
Brian Keller says, does it cost a ton of money to maintain Biscuit Run?
Well, I don't know that for a fact, but there has to be some maintenance to it.
Absolutely.
Just
Tree work.
I mean, there's some maintenance into
Yeah.
it and all that
It's
stuff.
not zero.
And it's at the moment, regardless of what it is, it's a one-sided equation, right? It's just the cost. They don't have this would make a really crappy ROI in a business environment on that end of it. There's no revenue coming in. There's only, in a P&L, there's no P, there's only L, the loss side of it.
So you see land bank potential?
Look, it's something I've been pitching for quite a while. Mr. Smith has been pitching for quite a while. It's a way to get around it. I think if each individual jurisdiction does it on its own, it becomes a little clunky. But I think in a regional environment, it works. And why it works, in my opinion, in Mr. Smith's and Batman's opinion, the reason I think it works, particularly with the Regional Housing Partnership, because we have all the jurisdictions at the table, we have all the housing nonprofits at the table, we have all the for-profit housing folks at the table.
Sounds like a lot of superheroes.
There is a lot of superheroes. Dave Norris is one of them, and his team is part of this superhero team. And that one we also, which is very important on the fourth pillar, that really keeps us standing up. It's the people who we serve, because sometimes us technocrats, us geeks in this space, start talking at a 44,000-foot level, and it's important to bring the people who we serve, and they're at the table also. These are residents and owners and tenants that we serve in the affordable housing space or in the housing space. And I can tell you,
Dan Pettit is giving you some props. 20-year plan with Biscuit Run. Keep working it, Keith, through your contacts. Great job. He also gives you props on the roundabout. Lauren says we are looking absolutely fantastic right now.
Thank you, Lauren.
This comment, Albemarle County needs to designate more land from the rural areas into the growth areas where utilities line up. Dudes, it seems so obvious. You have 1,200 acres next to Wegmans. That is doing nothing.
Yeah. Is that so, Robin? Is that in the urban ring? Does anybody know?
Biscuit Run is in the urban ring.
Urban ring, yeah.
Yeah.
So look, expanding the urban ring. We've heard this clearly from a couple of board of supervisors. Superheroes. That's probably not going to happen in the future. Anytime in the future. But what can happen is they can make the path to development or the path to growth or the path to creating more affordable housing or housing for all, and that's a better term that Batman likes, in the urban ring, make that red tape turn a little bit to green tape.
Explain this to me.
Sure.
I learn.
Sure.
I learn from you.
Cheers.
Why is expanding the growth area unrealistic.
It's a politically unrealistic.
That's the reason why.
It's
Did you hear
politically-
what Batman said?
It's politically unrealistic.
Okay, and explain what that means.
Yeah, it just means that,
Voters don't want that.
yeah, they're
You're not going to get in office if you say that.
well, look, the candidates, the Board of Supervisors, the city council members. How you like that? Huh?
I like it. I like
Bam. They represent the citizenry. And if the citizens does not want it, then that's kind of how that's supposed to go, right? But at the end of the day, it's just politically, there is not enough political will to do that across the board to do that. I may be wrong, I just don't see it. But I do see that there is political will, there is interest, there is.
Well, here's what it basically comes down to it. And I learned this from Neil Williamson. Who goes to bat and champions for renters and first-time home buyers that cannot afford to live in the area so they don't have a vote? Think about that. I'll try to phrase this differently, and help me phrase this. There's people who champion and go to bat for homeowners that have lived in this area for a long time because they've lived in this area for a long time. But few, Batman is one of them, are championing and going to bat for first-time home buyers and or for tenants because they can't afford to live in the area.
Well,
they're not here.
Well, it's that. It's also Batman has the ability to dedicate the time to it.
Correct.
And, because of what he does for a living.
Despite Batwoman's.
Well, yeah. Mrs. Batman, yes. You're going to get me into trouble.
No, I'm not.
You're trying to do
We'll
this.
change the subject.
We'll change the subject. But look, but it's that let's face it, if you didn't have the job that you have and the blessings that you have, that Mr. Miller has, to do all this stuff, and, you go to work at 8 or 7 in the morning, come home at 5
You don't
or
have
6.
time to do it, to get
and you
engaged.
got to take care of your kids, and you're trying to pay your rent, and you're trying to put food on the table, and all this kind of great stuff. I'm just blessed. I'm at a point in my life. I can tell you, when Batman had 2 children at the home, and both husband and wife were working, trying to make the mortgage payments.
You were grinding.
I didn't have time to do this. So I'm in the position to do that. That's why most people, if this mask wasn't on and you were to reveal who I am, we'll see gray hair, are usually the age that we are. It's hard to do that because you're trying to make a living. It's not that we're trying to make a living, but we're at a point in our lives that we can give back, and we do that.
Well said. Absolutely well said. It's basically saying the folks that are most engaged with community items that matter are more experienced.
Well, they just have the time.
And that's why there's a legitimate argument to make these positions a little bit deeper in compensation so you can have younger demographic of people involved.
Well, you're speaking Batman's language.
So you think that we should do that?
I've always thought we should.
You thought city councilors and board of supervisors should be compensated in a way where it could be a full-time job.
Yeah.
And if you feel, if they're compensated in a way where it could be a full-time job, you could potentially get a more eclectic demographic from an age and race and affluence standpoint.
Absolutely. Or something Batman likes and has been promoting is get them staff. Right?
They do have more staff than in the past.
There's typically not dedicated staff to city council members and or board of supervisor members that I'm aware of.
They have clerk of council.
Yeah, but that's a clerk. That's the job of being a clerk. That's setting agendas and that's handling it. But the part of the problem that you have with local office is the institutional memory, right? And so if there's staff, I mean, we tell this story all the time about somebody losing letting their passport expire. And if there wasn't for a staff at the Senate level,
Tom Perriello.
I wouldn't have got a passport to go to my father-in-law's funeral.
Well, Mr. Smith wouldn't have.
Mr. Smith
Because
wouldn't.
Batman can go anywhere he wants.
The bat plane jet would actually make it. I think.
Yeah, that would have made it.
This was overseas. I think we got enough fuel in it to go ahead.
But Mr. Smith lost his passport.
No, I let it expire.
Let it expire.
Yeah.
So ring-a-ding-ding,
Ring-a-ding-ding.
passport renewed.
Called, was told to call a young lady that's been there for 30 years, multiple senators, multiple elected officials, knew exactly who to call, exactly how to do it, and it worked out really well. So the thing is because what happens with these local elected officials, they get so bombarded. You know, Mr. Smith is hitting them, you know, Robin is hitting them, Batman is hitting them, all these people are hitting them, and they're trying to facilitate, they're trying to make sense of this. Sometimes if there's a staff member there, they can weed out some of the, answer some of the questions.
I think we call that institutional memory,
That's exactly right.
which currently does not exist in,
Well, it sure as hell don't exist in Charlottesville.
not in the city of Charlottesville.
Yeah. And Albemarle County is a little bit better. You know, some of the smaller counties, they rotate people regularly because they're, let's face it, you know, they don't pay as well. And then they tend to move up the channel. It's kind of like, I think Mr. Miller at one point worked at a television station.
NBC 29.
Yeah, that you know, just moved up the chain of command a little bit. Up to
Well, I'll
the
tell you
ladder.
what, the real one, and actually I'm glad you brought this up. So I'll relay my experience out of the University of Virginia. My first job was at the Daily Progress. And the Daily Progress in the sports department under Jerry Hootie Ratcliffe. What folks do not realize, maybe some folks do, the Daily Progress pays their team members, the people that are keeping government officials and holding them accountable.
Which
and
are awesome folks.
awesome folks, and documenting they're the paper of record.
Absolutely.
The Daily Progress is
Well,
the
explain what that means. Most folks may not know what a paper of record means.
paper of record is the media platform or outlet that papers the trail and tells the community from an archive standpoint what transpired. So if you want to know what happened 4 years ago, you're most likely going to a Daily Progress story of some kind.
That's exactly right.
And the owners of the Daily Progress, which is now Lee Enterprises, when I worked there, it was Media General. They were paying us as staff. My first job coming out of college was $10 an hour.
Yeah.
My
What year was
parents begged, that was 2005. My parents begged me not to take the job.
Really?
Begged me, do
Yeah.
not take this job.
And why was that?
Well, because of the hours and the compensation.
$10.
I was working from 4 p.m. to 1 a.m., 5 days a week. My weekends were Mondays and Tuesdays.
But did that experience make you
Oh,
a
yeah.
better Jerry Miller?
and made it help develop the businesses.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but where I'm saying at, when you're making $10 an hour, you're making $20,000 a year.
Yeah, that's insane.
$20,000 a year.
That's insane.
Could not afford to do anything.
Sure.
That's why the reporters are leaving every 18
Sure.
months to 2 years for greener pastures and higher compensation.
Well, I believe the
Same with the TV station.
About to say, I think the TV
Yeah.
station. That's why what we're doing here, or what we're doing at Real Talk and I Love Charlottesville and Keith and Jerry and Batman and Robin, this long format is such a great
It's
tool.
not only the future, it's the present.
It's the present. It's the present. So any other great stuff on the
Yes.
feed there, Robin?
This comment has come on the feed. This is a zinger for Batman a little bit.
Okay. Are they talking about Batman's
Where
belly?
did you get that flattering superhero costume? It looks like you have to hit the bench press a little bit.
Who said that?
This is from Carter.
Yeah, he's right.
No.
He's right.
He's looking good, Carter.
He's
Don't
right.
zing him like
You know,
that.
I'm not too bad for an almost
You look great,
60-year-old,
dude.
60-year-old Batman. But it's we'll hit the bench press.
No.
Next year we'll be better.
Carter looks great. How is Albemarle County ever going to designate more land from the rural areas into the growth area?
We talked about. I don't think
It's not
so.
gonna happen.
I don't think it's going to happen in Batman and Robin's lifetime. I really,
Really?
don't. I don't think it. I really don't think it will. I don't think there will be the political will to do that. I just don't think there will be.
So how can the other jurisdictions capitalize on
Well,
this?
that's what they're doing.
Louisa,
Green,
Green, Nelson.
Fulvana,
Interestingly,
on the other side of the mountain.
population declined in Nelson.
Yeah, it declined in. It's interesting. It declined in Nelson, but
The affluence went up.
the affluence went up very
Yeah.
much so. Very much so.
What do you attribute a decline in population there to in Nelson?
I think a lot of it.
Broadband, land, they're not that far.
You know, that's a great question, Robin. I don't think I know the answer to
Jesse
that.
Rutherford, we need that intellect from
You should tag him on that. But look, a lot of Nelson County is Batman's age and up, so there may be some attrition through that natural process, for lack of a better term. But I wonder why. I will tell you from a development perspective, and Mr. Rutherford will not agree with Batman on this. Nelson County is absolutely gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. And broadband.
But it's very hilly, to say the least.
Okay.
And that becomes a little bit complicated.
Hilly's not bad.
It is, but it's expensive and complicated to develop. That's why the other side of the mountain and the valley is so good, because a lot of it is flat. It makes development so much easier and more cost effective. And if you're paying top dollar for the land, and instead of $1 to develop, it costs you $2, ultimately that results in the sale price, which is not helping the affordability component of it.
Let's say hi to Jesse Rutherford.
Hey, Jesse, how you doing, brother? Jesse.
We love you, Jesse.
We had fun with him the other day, last Friday.
Oh, Jesse Rutherford's
This
great.
was a lot of fun. So, look, I don't see, Batman does not predict, and I think the Bat computer will agree with that the growing of the growth area is, at the very least, a long time off. So, but what we can support is we can support of trying.
Your back gloves seem to be more
I don't
usable.
Mine's not rubber.
Than Robin's gloves.
Yeah, yours are like.
Robin's gloves are quite stiff.
Yeah, you know what they look like? They look like the pot mittens.
These gloves. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're pot mittens. That's what they are. You're gonna pick up hot pots. But look, I think if we can help encourage and come up with the plans and the subdivision ordinances and the rezoning ordinances on that end of it, and help grow the growth area, eventually it's logically going to push it out a little bit, but at the moment I don't see the political will, and Neil might agree or disagree with
How about this comment? When Greene County sells a parcel of land for $4.7 million for 65 acres, Albemarle is losing out, and I think the county decision makers are liking that other counties are doing this.
So it's funny, is Albemarle County really losing out?
Because you're saying the folks that are living in Greene are still patronizing and shopping and spending their dollars disposable in Albemarle. So the incremental tax benefits are there without the school infrastructure.
Bam!
Without the school infrastructure taxing.
Bam!
You think that's what it is?
That's literally what it is. Yeah, they'll.
Oh, sad. There you go. That's interesting. That got me thinking right there.
Yeah,
So listen to what the man just said. I'm going to put this in very straightforward terminology. You just got me thinking.
Well, hold it. Huh?
So yeah. So he basically says, if Albemarle County does not capture housing market share,
It's a double-edged sword, though.
even more layman's perspective,
Go ahead.
if new homes are not built in Albemarle County,
Batman's going to get more coffee.
instead, if those new homes are built in Greene, Louisa, Fluvanna, and Waynesboro, does Albemarle County really lose out?
No,
And what I mean by that is people are coming to Albemarle for entertainment, for shopping, for
Work.
breweries,
for work.
and for work.
Mm-hmm.
So the tax dollars are still coming to Albemarle County without the taxing of jurisdiction resources like schools.
Well, the property tax will help with the school side of things, and something Jesse Rutherford taught everybody last Friday, that majority of the money for the schools come from the state. They do not come from a percentage obviously comes from local taxes, but there's meal taxes in Albemarle County, right?
Oh,
So if I'm
absolutely.
going to eat dinner in Albemarle County, I am helping Albemarle County businesses. I'm helping Albemarle County taxes on that stuff. So that's why when Greene County or Fluvanna County or Louisa County or Nelson County starts these development projects, they want to see a little commercial involved in it to do that. But I can tell you this, well over 50% of Lake Monticello well over 50%, travels either into Charlottesville, into Richmond, or into someplace else. And all one needs to do is go on Route 53 to see that in the morning or in the evenings on that end of it. So they're taking their dollars, they're more than likely buying gas in Albemarle County or Charlottesville. And let's face it, most of it's in Albemarle County, right, since Charlottesville is only 10 square miles, right, maybe the restaurants and stuff like that. But, Mr. Smith went to Costco, filled up in Costco in his truck and went shopping because we needed like 1,000 pounds of freaking dog food to feed the bat.
Forrest. The entrepreneurial developer John Jordan has a question for you.
Hey, John.
John Jordan says, what are Batman and Robin's thoughts on Southwood? Juxtaposition of brand new homes starting around $500,000 that you have to drive through a trailer park shantytown to get to. Appreciate the show always. Very informational.
So I would encourage. Was it John?
John Jordan.
I would encourage John.
The fabulous Esmont developer.
There you go. I would encourage John to reach out and take a look at the development plans that are coming up. The quote unquote trailer park is going to be redeveloped, and the owners of that or the residents of that are going to be moved into different locations. But there are affordable housing units in there. Google Southern Development.
Frank Bailiff and
Frank
Charlie
Bailiff.
Armstrong.
I had
Our buddies.
Yeah, Mr. Smith had a presentation from him the other day on some of it. So there are some new constructions with a 4 in front of it that are going to go in there on the end of it. But PMOT Housing Alliance is doing some units in there. So is Habitat, obviously, because it's a Habitat development that are going to go in there, which will hit certain area medium income price points. So I would encourage everybody to take a look at it. But it's a bit of a plethora. Look at that word.
Whoa,
Look at that word. I said that.
Whoa, Batman.
I said that after a sip of coffee.
Whoa.
Plethora of product type out there and price points out there. So I would encourage you to Google it and take a look at it.
This question's coming in from this answer is coming in from Board of Supervisor Jesse Rutherford of Nelson County.
Look at this stuff. Isn't this great stuff?
We love you, Jesse Rutherford. And this is from Batman and Robin.
I love it when folks are talking to each other on the feed.
On the Bat channel.
On the Bat channels while you and I are talking.
Jesse Rutherford, if you were here, we would give you a superhero costume because that's how we feel.
I think he's got
about
one
you.
already. He's probably got
What
one.
what are you going to be as Halloween for Halloween, Jesse Rutherford? He says, "Hi guys.
Hey.
Lack of easy developable land and a lack of broadband has played a huge factor over the last 10 years in Nelson County. However, I think 5 years will be interesting once we are 100% broadbanded
Agreed.
in a year or two, as well as the comp plan getting redone."
Correct.
And a revisit of some planning and zoning in Nelson County.
Well-
so I asked Jesse, why is population declining in Nelson? He says it has, but it will uptick.
Yeah, and would you expect Jesse to say otherwise?
No.
Right?
No.
Jesse's a great guy, and he's
He's
doing,
Mr. Nelson County.
He's Mr. Nelson County, and he is out there making it happen every day of the week.
And he's a builder.
And he's a builder. That's what I mean by he's out there. He understands this world better than anybody out there. But yeah, I mean, I can see it moving in the right direction. Broadband's going to make a huge difference. It is a utility. It is water. It is sewer. It is a utility, and it's so important. The rest of the jurisdictions are trying to catch up to Nelson County. Big time trying to catch up.
I think Fluvanna's closed that gap.
Yeah, Nelson will beat us big time. We'll beat Fluvanna County probably by 1 to 2 years.
That's tough for you to say.
Yeah, no, it's true. The truth is the truth. They'll beat us to a full broadband for that, but it's on its way.
Carter continues, and he says, sounds like what you're saying is it's going to continue to be extremely expensive to live here, and we should all just understand that.
Yes, but one does not give up that easily. We need to keep on trying to
keep on keeping on.
Keep on trucking. If those were the Grateful Dead fans out there, but keep on trucking and keep on doing it. You didn't know Batman knew anything about the Grateful Dead.
Batman knows a lot.
But look, at the end of the day, we can't quit. We can't give up. We've got to try. We've got to keep on doing. This is why we are so passionate about trying to make a difference. But yeah, everybody needs to get on board. You just need to bring these 4 pillars to the table, and it makes magic happen. And you know, Dave Norris and I are going to talk about this magic out at the my alter ego. He's going to talk about this at the Virginia Governor's Housing Conference, along with Ned Galloway. We're going to be talking about how cooperation, regional cooperation, can make a difference.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Batman,
What does your bat watch say?
our Bat Watch says it's 11:30,
Oh my God!
and it's time to go fight some crime in Gotham.
Good. So what is Mr. Miller? Is he coming back for the noon show?
Mr. Miller is coming back for the noon
And
show.
what has he got?
And on the I Love Seville show at noon, we have Catherine D'Souza, and Catherine is the executive director. Judah, you're going to have to give me a little help on this. Of the
You mean Alfred?
Piedmont, yeah, Alfred. Give me a little help on this. The executive director, hold on, I have it right here. The executive director of the Piedmont Area Tennis Association.
Oh, wow.
And they are putting together wheelchair tennis.
So
Folks that want to pursue tennis.
in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Look at you.
How amazing is that?
That is freaking awesome.
Right?
Justine Montgomery should watch that. Her son is a rock star at Virginia Tech playing tennis. Rock star at Virginia Tech.
So the Piedmont Area Tennis Association, she'll be accompanied by Stuart Drake, the general manager of BMW of Charlottesville. And you can learn all about what the Piedmont Area Tennis Association is up to and the wheelchair tournament coming this December to the Borset.
Can I ask Robin a question?
Yes, absolutely, Batman.
So at Costco, when Mr. Smith filled up his truck, his vehicle, gas is about
$3.39?
well, out at Lake Monticello, it was up to $3.45.
Oof.
What is that going to do to the market? What do you think that's going to do to the market?
I think, do you want my honest answer, Batman?
Robin, I would love your honest answer.
I think as gasoline prices uptick, it's going to soften the market outside of the epicenter of employment, Charlottesville and Albemarle County.
Yeah.
So these increased home values we have seen in the outer county jurisdictions and even in the outer areas of Albemarle, those prices are going to soften
So
because of the cost of gasoline.
The gentleman that was talking about the other side of the mountain, who was the
Kevin Higgins.
Kevin Higgins. If Kevin is still watching,
He is still
I would
watching.
love to know what Kevin thinks what'll happen on the other side of the mountain. Batman would love to know that so he can tell Mr. Smith on the other side of the mountain if gas gets to, because we're on our way to $4.
Oh, I think $4 is inevitable.
Our daughter out in Seattle is paying almost $8 a gallon.
What?
Yep.
Stop.
Yep.
Are you sure?
I'm more than sure.
You hear that, Judah?
Yeah.
Can you look at
California, Seattle, on the West Coast, some areas gases are if 8 or real close to $8 a gallon.
What?
Yeah.
That's a travesty.
So that's the same price as what you pay for gas in Europe for years.
$8 a gallon, Judah. Is that what you're? I'm not questioning Batman. I just want
No.
Alfred to
Let's get
double-check
Alfred.
those
No.
statistics.
Fact check.
Please fact check.
Batman. But and I can always text our.
It's going to be hard in those gloves, Batman. You might
Yeah.
have to voice text.
I can tell you.
Is that right, Alfred?
Some parts of California and West Coast are approaching $8 a gallon.
Donna Patton, hello.
Hey, Donna.
I'm all for affordable housing. How about jobs that support people being able to live in the area where they work
So-
if they don't have a college degree? Donna Patton.
And
Love you.
we are going to have a show about that coming up. I'm trying to put people together on that stuff. For the first time ever, people coming out of trade schools, coming out of junior college or two-year colleges are actually making starting salaries more than the average BA degree.
Here's the challenge, and it's a good and bad challenge, viewers and listeners. Alfred, you have an answer for us. We have multiple people who are confirming. Nicholas Erpy is one of them. Carter is also confirming that it's $8 a gallon or thereof in California.
Yeah, awfully close. Yeah, awfully close.
Alfred, is that what you're seeing over there, Alfred?
So here's another way to
Alfred,
take.
you're getting a little slow on the response time over there.
I'm not seeing anything that high, but could you,
Okay, so do you see stuff in sevens at least?
I mean, I'm looking at averages. Averages are not seeing any average above like
No, well, I know my daughter was bitching and moaning about it. Bitching and moaning about it. But look, here's another way to take, and thank you, Donna Patton, which is a rock star of a broker at a rock star of an agency called Keller Williams Alliance.
We love you.
The other way to help affordable housing is increase salaries.
Well, let me throw this to you. And this is a catch-22. Here's a catch-22 for all those who are watching. You have the University of Virginia producing some of the world's best talent, legitimately.
All this development coming around where we sit is pretty much instigated by UVA.
You got our buddy across the street, Joffrey Woodruff, who just donated $120 million to a data science school that cracked ground about a week ago. As this talent matriculates through the University of Virginia, some of said talent is going to stay here.
Sure.
And that talent that stays here is going to come at six-figure salaries.
Sure.
Furthermore, as said talent gets experience and creates its own businesses and operations and companies, it's going to lure talent from outside Central Virginia to work at these new companies in the area. So you get people coming in from outside the area commanding top dollar in salaries that need a place to live.
So this is why everybody needs to be at the table. And everybody needs to have this discussion, and everybody needs to follow one of the 3 rules that's on Real Talk. And one of the 3 rules on Real Talk is never point at somebody else. This is your fault, Robin.
This is not Robin's fault.
Not Robin's fault, but you know what I'm saying. We don't point fingers at other folks. We try to bring everybody under the same tent and try to work together to do this and understand each other, right? I might speak one language, I have a different perspective on it. You might speak a different language and have a different perspective on it, but we need to sit down at the table and have this conversation, because it's not going to get better unless we do that. That's Batman's opinion.
Donna Patton, there's an interstate running through several of our counties and no industry.
Yeah. She's 100% right.
Donna Patton, this is for you.
It's 100% right. There's no industry.
Donna Patton, realtor.
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 How not to say it.
How not to say it? I don't know. Mr. Smith isn't here.
Very well done, guys.
Mr. Smith isn't here.
Oh,
hey,
what a good
Robin,
episode.
Thank you.
Oh, so fun.
I love doing this.
Me too.
I love getting dressed up and making ourselves look a little silly, but
We like to have fun.
Like to have fun. You know, guys, go out and love on your neighbor.
Vote.
Go out and vote. Elections matter. Elections matter. Just go out and vote.
Identify who is on the ballot and who is not on the ballot, despite their name being on the ballot.
Just go out and vote.
Go out and vote.
Show up to your polling places. If you can do it early, still do it early.
Donna Pound says, "Oh my, Batman can say it correctly."
Yeah, Batman's trying to teach Mr. Smith. Donna and I had fun yesterday. Mr. Smith was teaching a class over there about realtor safety, which, by the way, is a super important subject. Most folks don't know a substantial amount of real estate agents are killed every year, because we're in a unique business that we don't get to meet people.
You meet strangers in homes that you don't know about. Well, you kind of know about, but they're vacant often.
Not if you're on the buyer side. You don't know the home.
Yeah, there you go.
Any better than the buyer does. But I'm going to call her out a little bit. I was teaching this safety class, which was really great. She walked across the window and stuck her tongue at me. So I started laughing. I started laughing profusely, and the poor people had no idea what was going on in the class. We love you, Donna. Thank you for watching.
Donna Patton. And thank you for watching Real Talk, guys. Batman and Robin are going to be fighting crime in about 2 minutes. Keith and Jerry back Monday for the Monday Market Monitor. Alfred for Batman, for Robin and Bat Dog. This is Real Talk on the I Love CVille Network, presented by Yes Realty
So
Partners.
apparently Batman's going to go hit the gym right now. So next time.
I think Batman, before he hits the gym, is probably going to hit the head.
Oh, I am going to hit the head.
I know he is going to hit the head.
I'm sitting here crossing my...
I can tell, Batman. You're a little squirmy over there. Batman's got the bladder of 59-year-old Smith, I think it is.
Literally got a 59-year-old bladder. I sure do. And somebody, either Alfred or Robin's got to unzip me out of this.
Oh, that's terrifying. It's certainly not going to be Robin. Alfred, that's your
Alfred,
job
Alfred
over
will
there.
do it. We'll get Liza the dog to do it. She'll
That's
jump up and
Alfred's.
pull it down. But somebody's got to zip him out of this spandex suit that I'm in.
Ay, mi madre. All right, we'll see you on the I Love Seville show, guys, in 50 minutes. We're going to have a very good show. Thank you kindly for joining us, and have a great weekend,
Hey,
everyone.
thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Absolutely.
You know, every day we show up 3 times a week. I show up 3 times a week, and it just blows my mind about how folks just really are engaged. So thank you very much, and go out and vote. Vote, 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 vote.
Amen, brother. You guys have a good morning. Take care.
Kabow.
Well done, Keith Smith.